Hello, this is Kathryn Safreed with TGC. Did you miss City Council on March 16th? Here are the highlights from the meeting. Council began with a public hearing regarding the designation of certain buildings on West Union Street as local historical districts. Buildings 14, 16, 18, and 22 West Union Street were affected by the Union Street fire last November, and designating them as historical would help property owners apply for tax credits to help them pay for the rebuilding of the area. Guy Phillips, one of the property owners, spoke on the issue, saying that the project was extremely expensive and the tax credits would be needed in order to rebuild. Pete Colatis, the co-owner of Union and Jacchio's Public House, also expressed a need for the historical designation to be eligible for the tax credits. With no further comments from the public, the hearing was closed and the regular session of council convened. In communications, President Nisley welcomed Lisa Eliason. Lisa was sworn in as law director earlier this month. She is the first female law director in the city's history. Council also received word that their legislative objection to the Chipotle liquor license was overruled by the state. Council then moved on to ordinances that were read for a third time, including Ordinance 01-15, which allows for the purchase of 2 new buses for Athens Transit. These buses will be zero-entry buses, eliminating the need for a mechanical lift. The buses will be low to the ground and will require only a ramp to aid those with disabilities in getting on the bus. The ordinance was adopted. Ordinance 08-15 was adopted and appropriates money for the Essence of Athens project. The ordinance will provide $11,000 for artistic wraps to be placed on the traffic control boxes on Court Street and $15,000 to place art on 2 large panels at the water treatment plant that can be seen from the bike path. Council also approved Ordinance 12-15, which designates 14, 16, 18, and 22 West Union Street as a local historical district. Ordinance 16-15 was read for the third time and will adjust the non-union pay scale. Councilmember Reisner explained that this will bring equity to non-union employees of the city, but will not include retroactivity. The ordinance was adopted. 5 ordinances were read for the first time, including Ordinance 24-15, which authorizes the design for the South Side Bridges project. The ordinance was amended to add an emergency clause that will allow the project to move forward in a timely fashion. The amendment was approved. Ordinance 26-15 will be the final ordinance needed to finish the West Union Street Sidewalk Assessment Project. The ordinance allows for the billing of the property owners for the assessments needed to complete the sidewalk renovations. Ordinance 28-15 updates the non-union fringe benefits package, clarifying that City Council has the authority to accept or deny requests for compensation of city employees. 2 of the 5 ordinances were placed under suspension of the rules and were adopted. Ordinance 27-15 is a general housekeeping ordinance, which allows for amendments and appropriations to the 2015 budget. Ordinance 25-15 allows for the city to join an ODOT cooperative purchasing program that will make it easier to obtain salt for the roadways and at a lower rate for the city. It was placed under suspension of the rules because the sooner the city joins, the more purchasing power the city will have. Under announcements and other business, the auditor's February report was accepted, and Nancy Walker was appointed to the Shade Tree Commission as an alternate. With no further businesses or communications, Council adjourned just after 8 p.m. This has been Kathryn Safreed with TGC.